Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big, giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not on, and George, Donovan's cat. You are the other side of the conversation, and not only are you just viewers, but you are family, and sometimes we share the link. If I do share the link today and your profile looks like this, please show me this. Then you can go back to that. If you don't feel comfortable rather showing your face, all I ask is that if I've never seen you on here before, that you do show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen. Just know that no one, not even Donovan, can see you before I take you up to the big screen. Also like to remind those of us in the comment section, let's be respectful. It's not that we disagree, it's how we disagree. And also for those that are on the platform, I may share the link again. I'm looking for people who want to support Kamala. Really, there's been no one except for one person to come up here, but y'all do all that thumb bumping in comment sections and stuff as to why you're supporting Kamala. But when I give you an opportunity to come up here, you don't. But we'll see if that changes today. But nevertheless, we're going to be talking about the Black church raising $500,000 recently to help send Kamala Harris to the White House. And I just learned about this about an hour ago. I said, oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Let's see who came on here. Kara, how you doing? Troy, Channel H Dunbar, how you doing? Hey, Judge, how you doing, boo? Keisha, how are you? JBWR, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Solo, how are you? And CJ, what is up? And Facts Not Feelings, I cannot forget you. Hope you're doing well as well. So, Donovan, what say you?
Hey, well, welcome back, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another exciting edition of the Demetra K Show. Please do not mind my cat here, George. He is on one this morning or this afternoon, so I got to just deal with him. Very hot out here, 100 degrees, so he's in the house doing what he does. But do us a favor. We got a scrolling banner at the bottom. If you want to donate, that is the many ways you can donate. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money order, however you want to do it. We're more than happy to and appreciate you guys doing that, because it does take time, money, and effort to make these great videos. And that's one way you can do to keep the content creator motivated to continue to make these great videos, so we have these great conversations. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get that on Google Play and Apple Store, and you can see other great videos that Demetra does produce on the African Diaspora News Channel. You can see Brother Phil, Vicky Dillard, and all the other great content creators on the African Diaspora News Channel app. If you don't want to do that, you can always go to YouTube, subscribe there, become a member. I do the annual membership, which is a lot easier than having them bill your debit, credit card every month, whatever. Just do the annual, and it's a little bit cheaper to do that as well. Also, on the African Diaspora News Channel, I believe there are 5 spots left to go to Ethiopia. So if you're interested in doing that, I believe there's 5 spots left. So you might want to go over there and take a look. It's a eye-opening experience when you do go to Africa. When you go to Africa for the very first time, it is very eye-opening. Demetra and I went over there. It was Demetra's first time there, and let me tell you, it was eye-opening, because she saw people that gave off spirits of her ancestors and people that were, like her. It's a great experience. So Ethiopia is a little bit different, because that's where the real Jews are from. And yeah, that 5 spots available. So this topic that we're going to get into is going to be a great discussion. Again, we thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us, because we know you guys could be doing a lot of other things, and you guys are here helping us spread the message and get the conversation out and get the word out on what is going on in our African diaspora here in the United States. So Demetra, let's go.
Hello, Christopher Williams. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. And Brother Norris, how are you? Well, thank you. And JD Informant, how you doing? Where you been? I think you were there last Sunday. But anyway, okay. And JJ, how are you? Let's get into it. Now, as I said, I learned about this just recently before I was going to come on here, because oftentimes I'm looking for stuff to talk about and it popped up. So I learned that the Black church, right? Black church leaders got together, I think it was last week, and they called it Win with the Black Church, right? So it was a whole bunch of them that got together to raise money to get Kamala Harris to the White House. Now, it was over 3 hours long. Admittedly, I didn't watch it. I watched snippets of it, but this is kind of was at the beginning of it, and this is the gist of why they convened. So check this out.
Such a time as this, because we believe with a divine strategy, we can have a very significant and shared outcome. And so over the course of the next couple of hours, you're going to hear some powerful endorsements from other faith leaders and individuals speaking on their own behalf in their own voice. They're going to, I think, commit themselves to helping to get souls to the polls, get us organized, get us registered to vote. They're going to donate. We're trying to raise about $1 million tonight.
Okay, so that was, like I said, a small snippet of it. So as I read the article, I read it from AOL, but it sounds like, I don't know, maybe the Griot originally did some of these interviewing. Basically, about 16,000 people showed up to the Zoom from what they're saying, and they raised $500,000 that night. Now, Jamal Bryant, who's, Pastor Erica Campbell, who was part of Mary Singers, I believe Reverend Dr. William Barber was there, and a whole host of other people. Again, it was over 3 hours long, right? Now, this is some of the snippets of why they said they were trying to get Kamala to the White House. So this quote here says, "She is the perfect warrior at this moment," says Bishop Joseph Tolton, a pro-LGBTQ Pan-African faith activist who recently convened Black leaders, including Reverend William Barber, Bishop Yvette Flonder, to publicly condemn the pro-Donald Trump and Republican playbook known as Project 2025. They also say the fact that she is an African-American, but also a person of color, more broadly, and the fact that she is a woman, she can ignite a fire on the left. And they also go on to say, and it was Reverend Dr. Otis Moss III, a board member of Black Church PAC, told the Griot that 16, so I told you already that how many people showed up. Of course, they want to reach out to voters and get people registered to vote, to show up to the polls. As he said, souls to the polls. Now, they said that they want to be the opposite of the Christian nationalists that have united behind Donald Trump. Of course, Republicans tout themselves as being the family values party. Sounds like a lot of first ladies showed up and, really trying to get Kamala into the White House. But they talked about, some of the things that Kamala's talking about, reproductive rights, LGBTQ stuff, just the normal stuff. But as I was, really thinking about the Black church getting together, raising $500,000 in one night, right? Now, maybe it was, some trickle in over the last, couple days after they had this Zoom meeting. But any of us that have been through a Black neighborhood lately, okay, that there are 11 churches, Black churches in these Black communities. Oftentimes, they are the nicest building in the neighborhoods, and everything else around it is dilapidated, right? It's lacking everything, jobs, just you name it, is lacking. And most of the Black people from that community go to one of those Black churches and they pour in, they sow a seed of faith, and yet they often show up to church on a bus and leave on the bus. There is no benevolent fund anymore. A sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so go up in there and say, "Hey, my light bill is due. I'm going to get cut off." And they say, "Well, we just don't have the money. Then we're going to say a prayer for you, sister, brother. But we ain't got the money." But yet these nice heavenly people get together and raise that kind of money to send a woman who he misspoke and said was of African-American descent and a person of color. Now, we know whether you believe Kamala is Black or not, she is not African-American. She is not. But there are those very ignorant church leaders up in there trying to get all these souls to the polls, but they can't even get a benevolent fund, a check, or a loaf of bread into the hands of those souls that go to their church every Sunday. But they want to send a woman who has done nothing for them to the White House. We got to have a conversation. Lastly, before I give it to Donovan, before I get in these comments, we know that the church has raised hundreds of millions of dollars since the 1980s. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Now go back to what I just said. The Black neighborhood is dilapidated, but they raising that kind of money, $500,000 to send Kamala to the White House. Again, we need to have a conversation. Donovan?
Well, here we are again. And how many times is it going to take us to wake up? In 2008, we had a so-called, and he is a Black man of African descent, that went to the White House, and everybody was so excited, and I've been like this. And yet, what did we get out of 8 years? We got his backside, basically, as he went out the door. Okay. His last stop as president was right here in front of my house at March Air Force Base. And he went on the Palm Springs with his white friends and all that other great stuff. Demetra, I'm a Catholic by faith, so I don't really have the knowledge of the traditional Black church, because the Catholic Church is omnipotent. We're the only religion that is recognized, well, one of only 2 major religions that are recognized by governments and all this other stuff, right? And of course, we plundered a lot of lands and did all these things that we're not supposed to do, but we did them anyway, right? The Catholic Church. So we have millions of dollars. We've paid millions of dollars in scandal, all of that good stuff. So I don't really have an understanding of the Black church, but when I have gone to Black churches, like you said, as a visitor, I look and I see these churches are in the worst neighborhoods. The pastor doesn't even live in a lot of cases, even in the city. If it's not a major city, doesn't even live in the city. He's involved in the church finances, and he's financing his family and all this other stuff. But like you said, there'll be members of the church that don't have diapers or Pampers or, all kinds of stuff that's just that they're supposed to be there to, a shepherd is supposed to take care of sheep or whatever it is, not the other way around. But just like in our government, we're the same way. We for some reason, we are supposed to take care of them, and they live this lavish lifestyle. How many years ago did you guys remember Creflo Dollar? When I heard his last name, I was like, oh, Lord. He had to have a jet and an airplane to go around. But when Sister Jenkins, who's been in the church for 40 years, needs a little this because she put her house up as collateral for bail for her son to get out of jail, the church never has any money. So here we are with a woman who is a chameleon. They can gather together and raise money for a woman that is not even of our community and possibly not even of the Christian faith. I don't know Kamala like that. I'm saying possibly, because if you're an Indian and you're raised Indian, you're of the Hindu faith, usually. And if she was raised predominantly by her mom, and those of us who from the Black community, Big Mama was the one that led the religion in the family, be it Catholic, be it Baptist, be it Methodist, be it Pentecostal. What mama does is what the kids are going to do. So you mean to tell me these pastors could raise all of this money for a woman that doesn't even identify with our community, but can't build up the neighborhood and the churches that they squander from and they take from and they do from? It's a travesty. Again, another example of the sickness in the Black community when it comes to doing for ourselves. Everybody else can do for themselves, but we can't. We have to wait on this guy, or we're looking at this guy that was an ex-pimp or an ex-convict. And I'm not saying people can't be forever changed. However, I am very lowly to to follow somebody who went down a road and is actually dependent on me to finance his lifestyle and his family's lifestyle. But yet we constantly fall for the banana in the tailpipe. So thus, here we are, all of this stuff. Because remember, this is what people forget, Demetra, and everybody, I want you guys to listen to this. Even when Barack Obama was running John Lewis, the icon of the civil rights, John Lewis, the trailblazer, which he wasn't. Everybody in the CBC was following Hillary Clinton. And when they saw how many young Black people were supporting Obama, and they met in that hotel in Baltimore, and Hillary was told to stand down, did John Lewis and everybody switch? They switched their votes because they're bought and they're paid for. So here, once again, here we are. These pastors are supposed to be leaders in our community. And here they are leading most of us astray with people who don't even give a damn about us.
Yeah. And I'm reading a lot of your comments. Hey, Damon, how you doing? And oops, P. Burley, how you doing? And I totally co-sign everything you're saying. All the money that the church, even in just that one, event, right? Because y'all heard them say, we want to try to raise $1 million, today. All that money they raise, and it's such an oxymoron. They talk about they care about Black people. Oh, we can't have Trump and the white nationalists and the Christian right, this, that, and the other, hijack the narrative of Christianity. First of all, that version don't even belong to Black people, okay? We were indoctrinated on those plantations with white Christianity in the first place. So again, that goes to show you the level of non-thinking that those so-called Black Christian leaders are using, right? But they raise all that money, and our people in their condition that they're in. They say they care about Black people, but they won't take that same effort to what if they had a Zoom meeting every month and invited all these, the Black church invited everybody to come to the Zoom meeting and raise all that money and say, okay, great. Now we're going to give money to each church or whatever neighborhood, and we're going to build something. We're going to buy something. We're going to have a, food giveaway. Sorry if I'm freezing up a little bit. A food giveaway like we used to have. We're going to pay some light bills, help people pay rent. We're going to buy Sister So-and-so, who's been a faithful member of a congregation for 50 years, a car, even a damn bus pass, right? If they get together and raise all that money, talking about they love Black people. They don't love Black people. And so a lot of y'all said too, they probably, I'm saying allegedly, get a kickback from the Democrat church. The Democrat Party, same thing, right? Democrat church. They don't love Black people. They love what they get, and they love Kamala. They love symbolism. They love to be the ones, just like that backbone of the Democratic Party, the Black woman. The Black church wants to sit there, be nice, sails up on that podium during the inauguration to say that they helped get Kamala in the White House, this, that, and the other. And guess what? After they've helped get Kamala in the White House, Black people are still going to be worse off in those churches, outside of the churches, and everywhere else. But yet, y'all got Black. I don't go to church no more, okay? I'm not like Donovan. I don't go to church at all. I've been to church in years. But knowing this, if I was a parishioner in one of those churches, it would be my last Sunday. Because what you mean you raising all that money to send this heifer to the White House, but yet you can't even send Sister So-and-so to a house because she coming from the shelter to go to church and sowing a seed of faith every Sunday, hoping the Lord is going to give her a house while you send them Kamala to the White House? I'm sorry. We need to have a conversation.
Yes, and I just want to make a special announcement. How many of you guys heard today Kamala Harris has moved to the right on the border crisis? Let me show you what a chameleon this woman is. This woman is the border czar. That's no disputing that. That was a specific job she was given by Joe Biden. She is now trying to run right of Donald Trump, and we're not Trump supporters. We're just telling you guys the way it is. She is trying to run right of Donald Trump to seem tougher on the border, because that's going to be a significant issue, especially in the Black community, because these people are the ones getting all the resources. They didn't pay into the tax base. They're getting all the resources. So she knows that's a significant thing. She has run right as if she had nothing to do with the border. If you're a border czar and you are the one put in charge of a task, if you wanted to close the border, she could do it right now. she could close that border right now and maybe lift up her chances of winning election. But do you see the games that they play? She acts like she has no authority or no power to do anything, and yet she does. Joe Biden acts like he has no power or no authority to forgive student debt. He does by executive pen. The same executive pen he has that he is quietly, when you guys are asking me, where is Joe Biden? He is quietly writing executive orders to legalize these illegal immigrants and give them status in the United States so that these corporations can hire them to work and get rid of you. That is exactly what's happening. Now, also, do not forget, Joe Biden raised over $200 million before he ended up being ousted in a coup in the Democratic Party, and they've got to spend that money, right? They are buying influencers. There's been a person that's already said they give them the talking points and everything. If you guys listen to Charlemagne the God and Ricky Smiley, they said some of the exact same talking points. Because at first I was like, nah, I don't believe that. But they were talking the exact same talking points. Ricky Smiley said, you could look up what Kamala Harris has done for Black people. I looked it up. It's not there. You could look up what she's locked us up, single mothers, men incarcerated, fabricating evidence. You can look all that up. These are talking points. And I'm telling you guys, this is what I believe. The Democratic Party has to use that money, and they're buying influencers. They're looking at people with a big platform. And again, they're just buying influence. And that's what's happening. So they're going to these pastors. And it is so sad in our community that we have these criminal pastors. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, because God's going to deal with these pastors and leaders of the church that are misleading the people. God's going to deal with them. But it's so sad that we have so much criminal element in our religious leaders that they're going to take that check and they're going to take that money and they're going to keep going on. If I'm lying, I'm flying.
Absolutely. And Thunder say, I said it before, if you go to a Chinatown, there is a bank on every corner. But if you go to most Black communities, there's a church on every corner. Chinatown looks immaculate. The hood is ran down. Yeah, but those same pastors show up to that Zoom meeting. They hallelujah and Kamala into the White House. But as I said, the very people that sit in those pews struggling. They come to church living quiet lives of desperation all week long, coming to get a word. They know doggone well they can't go get no check like you used to be able to do. None of that. But I'm telling you, if I heard that my pastor was on there talking about we sending Kamala to the White House, and then next week he gonna talk about we need a building fund so we can buy some staplers. But you sent this heifer to the White House? Nah, I wouldn't be sitting up in there. See, just like Black people and anybody really, but when you vote for a candidate that's not doing anything for you, after a while, that's your fault. Same thing for the church. You sit up in a church with a pastor is not doing anything for you. They're supposed to serve you, right? If all they're talking about is money, and you can't get none of that money, then there's a problem. You going out of the church and you walking through, most of the neighborhoods ain't got no sidewalks, but then you drive in the street, you got potholes in your lawn, you got liquor stores and no grocery stores and all that other stuff. I mean, at the very least, the church should be able to put a grocery store in the neighborhood. Like, you going to church and you're getting manna and milk, right? That's biblical. It's not something you get some juice and crackers on the first of the month. But when you leave out of there with all the money the church is raising, you should be able to go get you an apple or an orange or some bread or some milk or some meat at the local grocery store funded by the church. But they don't care about Black people. They just don't. They only care about this woman who is now running around calling herself a Black woman. But watch when she get in that White House. She ain't going to be talking about she a Black woman. She going to be talking about that the next time around. And guess what? It's going to work. And for those of y'all who go to church, What is the biggest trick that the devil played on the world? Does anybody know?
That he doesn't exist.
There you go. That he doesn't exist. Just like Kamala. The biggest trick she playing on us is that she a black woman that cares about black people. But where is her policies? Where did she change her mind? I'm gonna keep asking this. Did she change her mind about not doing something specifically for black people? Has she done that lately? I don't think so, but there's these black leaders who's supposed to be discerning and all this other stuff, and they sending potentially one of the biggest devils to the White House on black dollars. I rebuke it all.
Right. You know, and the sad thing is, to me, she's nothing more than a crash test dummy because she has no policy. She has no vision. And I know you got a lot of feminists out there that think it's time for a woman, whatever the deal is. And if you guys listen to that Ricky Smiley, this man was basically, what is it with these fraternity and sororos and the Talented Nine and these entertainers, these people that are millionaires, Roland Martins, and they just talk to us like we are nothing but trash, but they want our votes. This man was basically cursing us out because we are thinking for ourselves. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. He is telling you that you don't have a right to ask Kamala questions as somebody who's going to represent the United States and possibly represent your interests. Here's a man that said, you guys are in the way of a Delta swearing in an AKA possibly on Martin Luther King Day. What the hell significance does that have to do with money in my pocket? My taxes going up. Wars across the seas, so that these fraternities and sororos could do this symbolic secret society BS. And then he doesn't mention this so-called Tajani Brown lady who couldn't even define what a woman was. This is our best? Now, I'm not the greatest educated person, but this is our best. This woman could not even define what a woman is. And yet feminists are telling me this is the woman that's going to defend female killing rights. That's what people are telling me. And when I say killing rights, I mean abortion, because it isn't reproductive rights. That doesn't even make sense. Reproductive rights has to do with the making of more children, not deleting them. I don't get it, you guys.
Absolutely. And Al, I've seen a lot of people talking about, I guess, Pastor Keon, Shawnee, I forget, I don't know their last name. I know she's Shaquille's ex-wife. Is asking for the congregation for $4 million to help, redo the church. It's like, your woman's sitting on a mint. You know what I mean? Why you need to get that? Why you need to get that from the church? Shawnee O'Neal, your wife, she holding, right? She's the wife of Shaquille, ex-wife, rather, Shaquille O'Neal. I know she got a couple of bags up out of him when she left, plus she's got all the basketball wives, franchises and stuff. Why you need to ask it for them, Sister Glodadine and them? Haven't they done enough? But I don't know. I just, it's crazy to me. But you know what? He'll get it. He'll get every dime. He probably got it already. Daryl, how you doing? Said, you think they'd have a bank right now instead of taking money to white banks? It's nauseating, honestly. It really is. And hello to everybody that's come on here. I'm trying to at least acknowledge everybody once before I go back to reading the comments. Let's see here. Facts, not feelings. You say Ricky Smiley got that deep female energy the same way my ex-wife used to argue with me, is the same way Smiley was arguing with working class blacks. Yeah, he definitely looks down on the people who are not like him. Proper perspective. How you doing? Says Cornell West, 250,000 reparations. And what's that about? That's what he's saying we should get. An earthworm, JXM, how you doing? Says you get more flies with sugar than with ish. You would think so, right? All right, let's see here. Who else came on here? Reality, how you doing? Nubian King, you says, anytime a man wears a wig, dress in high heels, he can't tell me nothing. Ricky, are you listening? Yeah, well, you know, when Cat Williams got on him, he was like, oh, it's a character, this, that, and the other. Yeah, he was hurt behind that. The old God, how you doing? Says, that part burned me up. I would love for all of them dressing, selling out to say to my face. Okay. All right, so let me skip down because I know I'm a little bit behind. And Van, how you doing? Says, well, ironically, people focus on Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson not answering the woman question, but not her striking down Black Lockheed Martin employees' lawsuit as a federal judge. Right. So, but she's supposed to be pro-Black people, right? But she's another one that harmed Black people with her rulings, if you will. But I totally agree with you. Of course, we know she didn't want to answer what a woman was because on the left, they think that it could be a pet rock. You know, if a pet rock gets up and says, I'm a woman, they're going to say it's a woman, right? So, come on, we know what a woman is, but they don't want to want to be offensive to the LGBTQ.
So you're telling me a minority group of people can tell the majority group of people what to do, how to act, and how to think. How does that work? How does that work? So the Democrats are against traditional family values in regards to the nuclear family. And yet we all call ourselves Democrats in general.
Well, I don't know who this we is, but Angela, thank you so much for the donation, and everybody else that's donated. Love and appreciate you. And we enjoy you being here as well. Okay, so let me skip down to the bottom.
And real quick, have you guys noticed Joe Biden had the House and the Congress when he came into office, did whatever he wanted for the first 45 days. Everybody got something. How many years has the Democrats told us the problem with politics is money in politics? When they were in power and could have done something about it, they did nothing. Absolutely nothing. How many times are we going to fall for this BS from both of these parties? Both of them. Nothing is getting done. There's no money for reparations, but yet they are pulling out of their keister trillions of dollars into the defense industry, to Ukraine, to all these people, illegal migrants. We are basically being invaded. And yet when you need help, you need this, they're going after people for insignificant PPP loans and what they're giving to migrants on a monthly basis. Give me a break.
Yeah, and Thunder, you said, why don't the churches teach financial literacy and responsibility? Because if they teach you that, then you don't need them, right? They got to give you that carrot on a string. Oh, just pray and hope and, let go and let God, which I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing any of that. But if they teach you financial literacy, then you don't need to go there for the hope because you already got the manifestation, right? You've already got the help that you need for yourself. Just like the Democratic Party will never teach, teach, well, not teach, but champion Black people being self-sufficient, because with the dependency that Black people have on the Democratic Party with the programs and things like that, then Black people wouldn't need the Democrats. So it's the same playbook from the church.
Right. And let me just add that too, Thunder, because it's a good question. But the fact is that should be taught at home, number one. But yet we call ourselves Christians. If you're a true Christian, in the Bible, it teaches you financial literacy. In a what do you call that when it's a fast? When it's a desert and there's no water and stuff. What are you supposed to do when it's what's the word? It's escaping me. But anyway, when it's a drought, in a drought season, what are you supposed to do with all your, you're supposed to store up all your stuff and do everything you're supposed to do during the great times, right? Everything's fine. You're supposed to store up all your goods, save your money, do what you're supposed to do, put your grains away, save, right? Then when the drought happens, let's put it in economic terms. When is the best time to buy a house? In an economic downturn. The Bible has already taught these things. That's why when people, and I'm not judging anybody, we call ourselves Christians, but yet we don't know the Bible. Everything you need to know about living on this earth is in that book. It's in that book.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of passages in the Bible in regards to money. A fool and his money shall soon part, and all that money answers all things. So there's a lot of things regarding money. MC Fact, how you doing? Says Obama had control of the House and Senate in his first year and a half. He did for everyone else except, and then talked about, oh, my hands were tied. When it came to our stuff, right? And Carlton, how you doing? Says we have not voted Republican in a long time, so they have an excuse for not doing anything for us. Right, because they know they automatically have our vote. Measured Man, he says, Demetra, TD Jake said he sold so much God is in debt to him. Wow. Okay. Maxwell, how you doing? Long time no see.
That was blasphemy, but go ahead.
Yeah. Long time no see. Maxwell, how you doing? Says Demetra Donovan, hello, Black First to y'all. He says, this is the stuff us delineators have been speaking on Couch 2024. Yep. All right. Let me go down just a little bit so I could catch up, because y'all know how it gets. Jupiter, how you doing? Says every time the church needs money, they ask for God to bless you to give all the money from your pockets. But when you need something, they say, we'll pray for you. Exactly. Right. But did they pray to get all that money, and give it to Kamala? It's crazy. It's just like the more and more I'm astonished, I get even more astonished. It's just absolutely wild.
And speaking of Kamala, and they're raising all this money for her, you go to her website, all she's doing is asking for money. There's nothing else on there. Either you buy her merchandise or you donate. That is her platform. Empty suit.
Yeah, and I looked, I think yesterday, and it's still, or maybe this morning, there still was nothing on there. So I don't know. She said that, I guess, in the next couple of days or so, they're going to be putting policies on there, and hopefully by the end of the month, she'll sit down for an interview. So she still has not sat down for an interview, so people can pick her brain or ask her, the hard questions like, okay, what are you going to be doing when you get in there? Besides laughing. That's why I put her laughing on my thumbnails, because it's like, that's what all we're getting. We're getting joy. Her and Tim Walz are joyous warriors. That's what she said they are. That's their new name. Like Sarah Palin said, her and John McCain, they're just a couple of mavericks.
Yeah. And by the way, I saw your video on African Diaspora News Channel in regards to them standing by us. That was a great one. How Walz said he's going to stand by the American people. Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard the speech, I was like, how have we heard that one before? And Myra Hayden says sending her to the White House, and she's sending us to the Poe House, right? I mean, and even with that, the church, there's a lot of people in the church that are broke, and they hoping to, God, some will change for them. Scorch Earth, how you doing? Says Black America is a done deal. You think we're a done deal now? You just wait until Kamala gets in the White House. Just wait for it. 4
more years under this policy, man. For those of you guys that are living paycheck to paycheck, good luck. Good luck. It's going to be curtains. If you still got a house payment. In 2008, a third of all Black wealth during that housing crash was taken. If you are still having a mortgage right now, 4 more years of this, good luck. You guys are seeing these corporations laying off people by the dozens, thousands. You guys better hold on. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. And one more, Rock, how you doing? Says, I thought 501c3 couldn't do that. I thought so too, but y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Trump do something to where the churches could?
Yeah, he did an executive order. Remember all those pastors went up there to get their piece of the pie and stuff, and Trump was like, yeah, well, you guys can go ahead and do some political stuff up there. It was by executive order.
Yeah, so so maybe they can, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me. I think that's what happened, why they're kind of now a little bit on the freer side to get involved with politics. Child of God, it says Obama bailed out the banks and still let them take people's houses. Yeah, and they didn't go. No, executives went to jail. None of them at all. They were not punished, but a lot of people were punished by losing their houses because they had to stated loans and all that other stuff. There's a lot of predatory lending going on, and a lot of people paid the price for that. And in fact, they said that's where a lot of what was left over of Black wealth went when they lost their houses in the housing market crash of 2008, 2009. So yeah, Obama, the first Black president, right, did not do a damn thing for Black people. And Kamala's going to do more of the same.
Wait a minute. In California, during that time, Kamala Harris had an opportunity to prosecute the predatory lenders, and banks that were doing that. And what did she do, Demetra?
Hey, Sugar Unique MJ, you says crazy Kamala Walls Dizzy. Damn, hell of a ticket. You crazy. So Siri, I'm not talking to you. No, I was trying to call somebody. Steve Mnuchin.
Steve Mnuchin.
Yeah. He made it possible to foreclose on, it was tens of thousands, and 80,000 if I'm not mistaken. 80,000 Californians lost their home. They said some of them lost their home for 27 cents. There's a lot of, chicanery going on, for lack of better words. And Kamala Harris did not see the need to prosecute him for his role in the foreclosure malfeasance, if you will. In fact, he actually donated to her campaign when she was running for to be a senator, and she was the only Democrat that he donated to. So imagine
it tells you everything you need to know. This tells you you've got to look at these candidates' history, because what they've done in the past gives you a snapshot of what they're going to do in the future. It just gives you a snapshot. That mayor in Dalton, this lady was breaking into cars and she became the mayor. Yeah, she was a qualified. She was a city council member for 8 years, but she surrounded herself with criminality. It tells you a lot. I'm not saying it's always the case, but it should give you a moment to pause and say, should I give my vote to this person? Can I trust that this person's going to do the right thing?
Yeah, that's also where they indicted her. They're getting ready to.
No, they haven't indicted her. The acting chief of police, he was just indicted for fraud, overtime. They got him from overtime fraud and whole bunch of stuff, from back in the day. He bankruptcy like 7 years or something like that. He'd been bankrupt 7 times or something. It's just crazy what is going on up there. It is just insane.
Yeah, and Eric Holder did say that too big to fail. Basically, they're like, we're not going to do anything to anybody. Eric Holder was his attorney general. He's supposed to be the first Black, wasn't he, attorney general? And it's like, well, man, what are you doing there? But anyway, Chris Reed says Kellogg's cereal company just had a huge layoff. I think they're going to hire immigrants to replace the American worker. I think what really happened with Kellogg's more than anything is that their CEO got up there, talk, because people are basically complaining about the price of food and stuff. And he was like, well, they can eat cereal. Cereal is always an option. Now, of course, some of those boxes of cereal for a family is like $6-7. So people and, the internet, I would say mostly thanks to TikTok, was like, oh, yeah, sounds like you're saying let them eat cake. Who the hell want to feed their family cereal for dinner? Now, of course, that's a CEO, and, his bonus at the end of the year is into the millions, right? I'm quite sure of it. And there he is sitting up there talking about where they can eat cereal. Never mind that the price of food is through the roof. Eat cereal. So they organized the boycott. From what I remember, I think it was Kellogg's, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's kind of what happened to him. It's like, nah, we're not going to eat no cereal, sir. So.
Well, who else also said something like that in the modern age? She was a hotel heiress or something like that.
Yeah, there's been a lot similar. There's been a lot of
only poor people pay taxes.
I mean, all right, though. You know what I mean? They use those loopholes. Curly Toe Chronicles, how you doing? Says hi, Demetra and Donovan and Critical Thinking family. I like that. He said this is ludicrous shame on the church and won't help homes or build up surrounding communities. Nah, but they're very, boastful of sending Kamala $500,000 and wanted to send her $1 million Zoom meeting. They raised all this money. They bragged about it as, like I said, Sister So-and-so will walk 5 miles to church and then been doing it for 10 years, right? Sowing a seed of faith. And they talking about how much money they giving Kamala. And Kamala is raising historical amounts of money. But yet they felt like they need to get together and get boots on the ground. They're going to be organizing, knocking on doors and all kind of stuff to get, Black voters to the booth. They're going to be talking about it from the pulpits. I'm quite sure. I'm telling you, if I was going to church, which I don't, and my pastor got to talk about, now we're going to talk about Kamala Harris. I put up the Baptist finger, but in my mind, there's be another finger, okay, as I'm walking out. Because I didn't come here for you to be talking about that heifer up in the church, okay? Came for you to talk about the word. I'm gonna vote for who I want to vote for. I don't need you to tell me who to vote for. Okay. Anyway, let's get back in these comment section.
Yeah, and you know what's sad about it though? You still have the civil rights era people that are going to vote for Kamala, the big hat gang, the old big hat gang in the church. Those are the ones that are going to continue to vote for Kamala and the Democratic Party because they really don't know any better. They've just been so brainwashed that they're at the end of their lives. They don't really give a damn. And they're like, look, this is what I know. This is what I'm going to know. I'm going to stick my arm out and I'm just going to continue to do what I got to do. And it's so sad. It's so sad that they don't understand the repercussions of what they're doing. I talked to this older person the other day, and here he is complaining about the migrants here in Southern California, but yet he still votes Democrat. I said, that's a Democratic policy. They're letting all these people up in here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that was the Democrats. Oh, it was? You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. It's sad. It's a sad situation.
MC Factor says, Demetri, have you ever thought about going on Fly Nubian Queens? They need your help. No, I never thought about it. I who ride with African Diaspora News Channel and the Black Congregation. That's who I who ride with. That's the set I claim. But I am familiar with Fly Nubian Queens, though. Yes, indeed. Big Papa, how you doing? Says I plan to donate my holy stinky socks for Kamala. You crazy? I don't know if she want those. All right, let's see here. Let me get down to it. Our Neba, Leona Helmsley. Yeah, that's the one that said only poor people pay taxes. Yep. And then the measurement. You thought it was Hilton? One of the Hiltons that said it. Let's see here. The old guy says Dalton had a $3 million surplus and now the city is bankrupt. Yeah, they said she spent like $40,000 in one day on Amazon.
Right. And you got to remember there's $6 million in checks that is missing. But if their general fund is empty, which had a surplus of $2 million, how much money is actually missing? It's $9 million plus. It's really $9 million because those $6 million that's sitting on somebody's desk, they don't have the money to pay it. So where did that money go? That's the question.
Yeah, good question. I mean, to me, I'm like, why are they taking so long to lock her up? Clearly, she's a thief. Nubian King.
I got an answer for you. I got an answer for you. Taking her, lock her up. It's near Chicago and a Democratic stronghold. They do not want to stop any of their Democratic operatives. As long as she's stealing the money and, and all that other stuff and doing what the Democrats do, nothing's going to be done. If it wasn't for the fact that this has been highlighted on national news and stuff, she would have continued to do it because in Illinois, that is the state that has locked up more politicians than any other state in the union.
Hey, Lene. Yeah, I don't know if it was Paris Hilton. I think, it was Leona Helmsley. And I think she did die in prison. Yeah, she was a mess.
Yeah, it was Leona Helmsley. No, she didn't die in prison. She got out and she died a couple years later.
Okay, got it. But she did go to prison, though. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Thunder cereal. It says, yeah, they can eat cereal. And you say beans and rice, grits, oatmeal, smothered potatoes, pancakes, cornbread, soup, stew. We might just have to go old school like Big Mama did. Yeah, you can't be going out to Whataburger and Papa Do's and stuff. You're going to have to take it old school. Go to the kitchen, right? Like you said, are people storing up food, learning how to can? My daughter, she's really good at, preserving food and things like that. But yeah, we might get to that point. But like I said, y'all check out that last video that Donovan and I did. I meant to premiere it, and for whatever reason, it didn't. So it didn't get out to a lot of people, but it's really good. And we're talking about LULAC, the Latin organization endorsing Kamala, but yeah, eat cereal is wild. They can eat cereal. It's like there ain't no nutrients in that.
Right. It's mostly sugar now. I was at the commissary the other day and they had the Snicker cereal and it was just some crazy, it's like candy cereal. And I'm like, who would eat that? Crazy.
Yeah, but that's what he says. Oh, they can eat cereal. What? I don't even know how much milk is because I don't buy milk. Not cow milk. What is it, like $5? a family of 4 or 5 gonna go through that in one sitting of cereal,
Yeah, I
because
think
you're
a
not gonna have
gallon is about $3. Yeah.
Yeah. Measurement. Thank you once again.
Wait. Somebody said King Vitamin. Measured Man said King Vitamin. I had my share of King Vitamin. I haven't heard that, man, since the 70s. Golly.
And it was
That was the welfare Captain Crunch. That was the welfare Captain Crunch.
It cut up all your gums, didn't it? Your gums, the roof of your mouth, skin was coming off in the cereal.
Within 2 minutes, if you didn't eat it immediately, within 2 minutes, it's all soggy. It's all soggy.
If you ate it too quick, you had need stitches in your mouth. But it says, please don't stop these conversations. Give it life and a voice. P.S. Y'all hit likes. Make these algorithms work for us. Houston standing tall. Yes, indeed. I love and appreciate you for that. And everybody else is reminding people to hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see who else came on here, because y'all know we don't spend a whole lot of time on here as we used to. Double A, did I say hello to you? Says Trump is right. They make our criminals look like saints. Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of them come over here doing some crazy stuff. Recently here in Houston, a little 12-year-old, she was violated in the worst way, and they found her body under an underpass. 2 Venezuelans followed her and did that to her, and they're looking for her. They're immigrants from Venezuela, and they did that to her, a 12-year-old baby.
Did you hear the latest though?
I'm scared.
They're gun running under the food that's being shipped in. They're gun running food that is going to the shelters through the shelters, and they got a kid or some young dude they just arrested that just narked on everybody, but they're running guns through the shelters.
Oh, they're running guns. Okay, through the food, child.
Under the like they're hiding them in the food. They're hiding them, in the food and all that other stuff. These are the cartels, you guys. Democratic policy. Now, who is at danger when that happens? American citizens. Sad.
It's crazy. The average logical thinker, did I say hello to you? If not hello, he says, damn, the lunch lady stole, $1.9 million on 11 cases of chicken. Yeah, they sent her to jail for 9 years. I just saw that too yesterday. I saw it about a year or so ago when it happened. Forget where it was. Was it Chicago or something like that? But yeah, she got 9 years for doing that. I don't know if she was selling the chicken wings at restaurants or she was making chicken wings. I don't know, but that's a lot of chicken. So yeah. Yeah, the queen of mean, Leona Helmsley. Yes, they said she was an evil heifer. Maria, how you doing? Says $500,000 could have built a homeless people shelter or for some other purpose the Black community needs. Yeah, no, they want to send it to Kamala. Send Kamala to the White House. To do what? She hasn't told you, or maybe she told them, y'all, help me get in. I'm going to give y'all some extra biscuits.
That's the deal. That's the concessions. You think with all the youth that are running around that don't have job skills and things like that, if the Black churches would come together, most cities don't even have boys and girls clubs anymore. What happened to that? And who cut those programs out? Civil rights generation. How does that help the community? But in some of these cities, you got senior centers, and I'm not against the senior centers, but why do we uphold a group of people who already have money, and yet we have young people who are just starting out their lives that probably have no skills? And even if it's for the single moms, to have a boys and a girls club so that the kids can go there and learn some skills and learn some things while mom is still working, and help her so she can have some place for her kids to go without having to pay all these babysitter fees and all this other stuff. No, we don't do that. The churches don't do that. They could care less. And then if the church does have some kind of after school activity, they still charge you.
Yep. Undisputed truth. Yeah, our people are sick. We just are, and Norris, she says, even though I'm 73, I'm pissed at old Black Democrats. Yeah, like as I say, it's not just the older ones, it's the younger ones, it's the ones that's in the mid. It's just a lot of people. Unfortunately, we have gotten used to just liking symbolism, thinking that's all we deserve is symbolism, while we watch everybody else get something, but us, we just like that. Good job. Thank you so much. Here's some butter biscuit crumbs. Enjoy that. So,
well, what I think is more, Demetria, is the fact that because it's so hard, we have this savior complex to save everybody else, but we can't save ourselves. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, well, Black people have always stood up for everybody else. When? We have to cut that crap out. We can no longer afford to fight other people's battles. Just like you guys don't like us going overseas and fighting as mercenaries for the Saudis and all these other people, it should be the same thing for our people as Black people. We are no longer standing up for migrants. They got LULAC. LULAC could fight for them. They got their organizations. We need to fight for ourselves because we're becoming extinct. And that's the scary part of it.
Yeah. And yeah, good question, Damon. Where are they getting these tools from, right? And what you described as Dr. Claude Anderson talked about it a lot, which is how I learned about it, is meritorious manumission, where during slavery, slaves, they would get rewarded, nothing major, right? It was if you told on another slave, if you helped a white person, like save their life or something, or if you, what was the other one? I forget the other one. You gave them an idea or something like that. So that's just kind of followed us even today, right? We think if we help everybody else get what they need, then, you know, we're going to go get the pie in the sky, right? We're going to go to heaven because that's what we've been taught. Take all of it now on earth, and when you get to heaven, then you'll get what's yours to get. But our votes are actually helping everybody else live in their heaven right now while we're going through hell, you know? And I don't think people really realize that that's what we do. And Kamala has not said she's going to do anything for us. And there's no doubt she will not, because she's like, well, they didn't demand that I do anything for them, so I'm not going to start now, you know?
How many of you guys heard about that pastor that is leasing plots in heaven? That's an actual story. That is not.
I saw that.
But think about that. We are that gullible that people are thinking you're going to buy your way into heaven. He's selling plots into heaven. I want you guys to think about this. For all the hell that we catch here on this earth, why the hell, and I'm going to say that, would you want to go to heaven if it's anything like being down here? Why would you want to go there?
Right. Measure Man says that Demetria Kamala show up here 3 weeks later after we went 9 days, right, without power. Non-sister girl, bye. Exactly. You know, I went going on 5 days without power. It was hot as hell here. And Marshall, you say, will the Black pastors come together for that 12-year-old child? I think not. Yeah, and that happened like a couple of months ago. It was really sad. I mean, it just, horrible. Thunder, he says, question, is there anyone who was really voting Democrat after this? Really? Yeah, there's a lot of people, you know. Again, I'm perplexed as to how, you know, almost a month ago at this point, Kamala had some of the worst polling numbers in history, but all of a sudden she's that girl. Everybody wants to vote for her. And it's like, okay, great. Why? I don't know. Because she's a Black woman and she's, she's Black and she's a woman. Did I say that already? Oh, bathtub greens. That's why I'm voting for her. You know, she hasn't even, this is the insanity part. This is the most insane part, right? She hasn't even gave you a reason to vote for her. People just run around here making stuff up. She's joyful. We needed joy back in politics. God damn it. Joy ain't gonna put no food on my table. Damn Joy. She been laughing her ass off for the last almost 4 years. What has her laughter done for anybody? Nothing. So Joy?
And you got to remember, this is a Biden-Harris administration. So what is going on in our country right now, she's complicit in. And then when you brought up how she is right now, where were these people in 2019 when she ran for president? She's the same exact candidate. So what changed from then to now? Why is she so, if she's this girl and all that, wasn't she that girl then?
Oh, really? He says, I see y'all have very interesting moderators for your show today that placed me on timeout for nothing. It wasn't me. Who placed you on timeout? Why y'all placing people on timeout? I did not do that. I didn't see you said anything wrong or bad. So it wasn't me, but anybody who did it, give us an inclination as to why. But I see you now. Carmen, how you doing? Says the hypocrisy of the church is on steroids, knowing what she supports when it comes to the babies. They don't care. It's all about reproductive rights and the LGBTQ, and we need to make sure that, you know, people's rights and the voters' rights, and, you know, the same old, just same old, right? Because like you said, y'all ain't got the people in the church ain't got no business supporting that. That ain't what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be against that. It says thou shalt not kill and all that other stuff, right? But yet, the problem with it, they want to be one of the ones to get common because they want to combat the Christianity on the right. So they're gonna get it's madness. It's almost demonic, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch too far. I got you, Donovan.
Well, remember, the devil is busy. I mean, we're at the end of days. We had a 4-point-something earthquake the other day, and it's just, I mean, just looking at what's going on and how everything is, what's right is left and what's left is right and up is down. And it's just crazy. You got the minority that dictates to the majority. We talk about democracy, but not one vote was this woman given by anybody. And they talk about democracy is at issue and is on the line. This is crazy. It doesn't make any sense. How can anybody who is educated sit there and say, yes, I'm going to vote for a person who did not get one vote in the primary to be president of the United States? How many of you guys know, history lesson, the only person ever to be president that never got elected or was on a ticket but became president anyway? Demetra, do you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ask that last question again.
Name me the only person who became president who was never elected and became president anyway, received not one vote, but became president anyway in American history.
I would imagine anybody who was a successor of somebody who was assassinated, or somebody who was impeached, like Nixon.
Yeah. Yes, Gerald Ford is the only, because remember, LBJ was elected because he was on a ticket, so it can't be LBJ. Gerald Ford, after the vice president, I forgot his name, he was indicted for criminal activity under the Richard Nixon administration. And Gerald Ford was appointed vice president. And then when Nixon resigned, Gerald Ford became president. He is the only president ever to not be elected by people to serve as president. And now we're going to do it again. This woman received not one vote in the primary, whatever that primary was. But regardless, 14 million people voted for Joe Biden, if we like it or not. Spiro Agnew, that's who it was. Thanks, Derek Davis. Spiro Agnew, that's who it was.
Come on with the history. Come on with it.
And if you believe in democracy, like they keep telling you, it's at stake. If you believe in democracy, you cannot in good faith vote for a person who never got a vote. She was selected. Come on, y'all. Come on.
And no, I have power. I had power 5 days after Burrow left up out of here. But no, thank God I got power. Oh my God. It was a harrowing experience. I know that sounds very dramatic, but it was. RG Titan, how you doing? You said, sadly, some of these pastor pork chops nowadays are a major part of the problem, selling our people out. Oh, yeah, they'll do it in a heartbeat. They're doing it all the time. Big Free, how you doing? Says, child, I can't find a job. Parents, why, baby? Child, you voted me out of existence, damn it. Yeah. I'm going to actually replay that video that we did earlier. I think it's wildly important. I've never been... Well, I've been passionate, but I'm really passionate about that. LULAC backing Kamala, because I don't think we have an idea what that means. I just really want to give you all a small reiteration of it, but go check that video out that I did with Donovan earlier. LULAC is the largest Latino organization, probably one of them in the world. Been around almost 100 years and have never made an endorsement of a political candidate up until now. They have gone on record from their president saying how much they do not like Black people, like on record do not want to work with Black people, feel like Black people do not deserve what they get and all of that. But there they are backing Kamala because they know Kamala is for them. Kamala is not for Black people. And let me tell y'all something. Kamala gets in that White House, the doors are going to open even more wider for LULAC's people.
Steroids.
They're going to open wider, and you can kiss your Black goodbye up here in America. Kamala is not going to the White House, and every president, including Obama and potentially Kamala, they've never legislated specifically for Black people, although they've done it specifically for everybody else. And listen, I'm not a Trump supporter. There's no doubt that Trump is going to the White House to legislate for his people, the rich. Okay, he's going there to do that, right? But one
Which
thing
is
with
also
Trump,
Democrats, corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans are the same.
Yeah, but the one thing with Trump, he like, they gotta go. I'm sending 1 million of them out of here when I get in the office. But Kamala, no, she's very pro-immigration because her parents were immigrants. So she's got a soft spot for them. But LULAC endorsing her is major. And Black people, I don't like, I'm not one of those fear-mongering spreaders per se, but we in for it. This, in my opinion, is that last nail in the coffin for us. Just have to find out if I'm lying or not.
Yeah, Kevin Haynes says, didn't Harris say she was going to sign the John Lewis Voting Rights Act?
She said a lot of stuff. You know, either going to Sonia Massey, the Black woman that was shot in the face in her house. Do you know that cop? They said that they found out that where he was a couple of departments before he got to her, he was accused of inappropriately dealing with a woman, right? So I guess they suspected her of having drugs. They made her on the spot in front of him and another male officer, you know, go in her lower regions and dig out, you know, the drugs or whatever it was, when that's not the protocol, right? Sounds like he might have gotten fired, but then he got hired 2 other times. They found him drunk on the job. It was just a whole bunch of stuff, right? But then you hear Kamala talking about, we need to really get a, you know, comprehensive George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which would be some sort of police reform. It's passed to the House and Biden signed it, but it doesn't have any teeth. Now, if they had something like that, that was passed, like they, you know, passed for the Asians, then that would have potentially spread to the state and local levels. And that police officer would not have been able to get hired, because the one on the federal level has supposedly had this database that lets you know when officers on the federal level have had a bad record, a previous bad record, then, you know, it alerts other police departments. But this guy, he's just a bad apple everywhere he's gone. Then he, you know, shoots a Black woman in the face in her own home. So, but yeah, like you said, Kamala, she actually told that lie at Tyree Nichols' funeral. I'm going to go back to the White House and tell Biden that we need to do something serious for George. Y'all look it up. I'm not lying. She said that. She's a panderer. But Black people are the most unprotected people in the United States of America. Look it up statistically by the FBI, says we are the most unprotected. But yet she gets in pulpits and everywhere else and lies when it's convenient and does nothing. Like even right now, she's saying, oh, when we get in the White House, we're going to, you know, not tax the tips of workers and this, that, and the other, which was a Trump idea. Homegirl, you in the White House right now. Why you can't do it now? Why you can't? Excuse me, Biden. We need to pass some laws. Does your pen still have ink in it? She could do that. But when I get in there, you in there already. Lie.
And we've been saying this, Demetra, how many years? They have the power now. You've got the executive pen. When the Congress told Obama, no dreamers, we don't give a damn, blah, 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 blah. What did he do? I'm going to use my pen. And he bypassed Congress. But when we have something come up, they go, well, the parliamentarian said that we can't do that. So the parliamentarian is just somebody that tells you how the rules go. But this is the games that they play to us. And we, you know, and like the highly educated Black people that we are, our talented 9. Okay, all right, look, we can't do nothing. The parliamentarian said that we can't do it. Where's that law? The filibuster, where is that law? It's ridiculous. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm not a Republican, I'm a recovering Democrat. When the Republicans get in there, they do everything that they said they were going to do, and they don't give a damn. They say, this is our platform, this is what we're doing, full speed ahead. Democrats get in there, it's a bunch of excuses.
Yep, and Momo, how you doing? And thank you, Carmen. I was going through it during that heat. You said, see what I mean? We still got Black people selling us out. We still doing this to each other. I don't understand. Yeah, and I hate that they even call themselves leaders. Oh, the Black church leaders. What you leading? You leading people to hell, okay? What actually are you leading? Because leaders actually lead their people, their followers, or whatever it is, to somewhere good, to good results, right? Y'all not leading nobody nowhere. You can't even lead a Congo line. But you talk about, I'm a leader, I'm a Black leader, I'm a Black church leader. You're not. You're a liar. You are not leading nobody nowhere. You're only ingratiating yourselves. You're only fattening your pockets and doing for you. That's all you're doing. You're just lying in the name of the Lord.
Cabot Haynes says Biden Harris got the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill passed, though.
Say that again.
The Biden Harris got the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill passed, though.
For who? Who did they get that pass for? Who? Hey, Dennis, who did they get that pass for? I mean, because
it's for Black people, because Black people are the only ones that get lynched.
Is that so?
Well, in general.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Lynching. What does it mean to lynch somebody?
The murder.
What is murder?
Murder is the killing of somebody, and I guess that would be capital punishment.
Isn't that already like a thing? So if you lynch somebody and they're murdered, which means they're dead, it's already capital 1.
Right, and that's in most states. They have a capital 1 statute. Most states have that.
At least on the federal level, right? So what are we doing here? It's symbolism. You should have passed it when Emmett Till was lynched in the 50s. You should have did it then. But you're going to do it now? Why now? Does that stop? But hell, a lynching is not just a rope. A lynching is being shot in the face, believe it or not. That's not stopping nobody from getting. It's symbolism, is what it is. Give us a hate crime bill with some real teeth, not the Asian hate crime bill.
We want protection, basically. We want protection like the Asians got. Do you guys realize that if you even verbally assault and abuse an Asian person, it's a crime? If they report it, it is a crime and you can go to jail.
Yeah, you even look at her wrong. I feel threatened. Then, you might be having an answer for that, but yeah, it's just crazy. And Edward Jones says, I'm very pro deportation. Yeah, listen, I don't have a problem with people immigrating over here. I know immigrants, but they did it the right way. But you got droves of people coming over here demanding stuff that you can't demand. And you can't go to the White House or even to the City Hall, or anywhere else that they have these sanctuary cities and say, I demand a food stamp card with a copious amount of money on it. They're going to be like, yeah, right. Security, bailiff, can you show them the door? That's what's going to happen to you.
And then you got to remember Carolyn Bryant, who had Emmett Till, was the issue why Emmett Till got killed. The Biden administration ran the clock out on her so she doesn't get prosecuted. They were trying to get that woman prosecuted and they dragged their feet. This is what the Biden administration did because there is no statute of limitations on murder.
Yeah, I got you, Brother Sammy. I'm going to send that to you as soon as I'm done here. No, they said that there's nothing here. The DOJ under the Biden administration said there's nothing here. Because she said that she admitted she did it in a book. But then she said, oh, no, I didn't say it. I didn't mean it. And they said, well, she said she didn't mean it. And they said, we're not going to pursue her. So she got to live out her life lying on a 14, 15-year-old, okay, saying that he was adverse to her cost him his very little life. And yet she got to live as a free woman in America after doing that to him. Under the Biden, and I know the DOJ per se doesn't belong to an administration, but I have my opinions about that.
He appoints the leader of it, so it is his administration.
Yeah. And Measurement says, girl, you did an Asian hate in the 45 days and we didn't have nothing. Yeah, Kamala was standing right up there with her people. She was clapping and stuff. Sugar Unique says, this is the worst administration in my history of voting. Yeah, a lot of people said that. I mean, I remember the Carter administration when I was a kid. I remember those long gas lines and things like that. Papa says the KKK cop needs to get in the call in his cell that his anti-black effery cost him some parents and any siblings he has. Woo. Well, hopefully he gets what he's got to the fullest extent of the law. Let's see who else came on here because we're about to get out of here. Original Skywalker says, please understand your history of who you are. You are the true Americans. The land grants have your ancestors' name on them. Thunder says, you do know that the moment she loses, the Dems won't give the credit to us. They will say she lost because of other reasons, but we know it was us that sank that ship. Yeah, they still need us. Don't think that we don't. But listen, if we overwhelmingly vote for Kamala, I'm telling y'all, I don't like the whole doomsday approach, but it's just over for us.
Yeah. And fellas, if Kamala does not win, be prepared for them to blame it on us. Black men didn't get in line. Y'all gotta sit down and shut up and follow the women. They're gonna blame it on us. So just be ready for that.
Yeah, well, and y'all, our brother Phil did a video as well. Is talking about Uncle Luke. Man, y'all need to go watch that one. He did it on Saturday. I'm telling y'all need to watch that. He made a battle cry, to black men. He says, the Democratic Party is not the party of straight-laced black men. It's not. You think about the Democratic Party and everybody they put up, as he said perfectly, sassy, maybe they're an immigrant, and some other things that he said. But he said the straight-laced black men, that's like, nah, I'm not going to be told to shut up and get in your place and all this other stuff. Nah, they for your Van Joneses who, your Roland Martins who crying and shaking his booty all over the place, twerking. I did see a video of him twerking. I was like, this can't be real, teaching Hillary Clinton how to wobble. And, that's who that party is for. But it ain't for men, black men who are like, nah, I will not be told to shut up and get in line behind the backbone of the devil. I'm not going to be told that, right? And as he said, too, that don't mean to go join the Republicans. It means that you potentially sit out or become an independent or whatever the case is. But as far as being led by the nose ring by the Democratic Party, that should not be any straight-laced black man. And I co-sign everything he said. But y'all go check that video out. I was listening to it cleaning up the kitchen. I was like, oh, my God. I went to the comments and the men were like, I'm a straight-laced black man, yeah. I feel like I had a little hair on my chest after listening to that. I don't, but I felt like it. All right, so let's see here. Let me get on with AD says, if they can raise the money for her, why not grocery store, hospital, school, or bank? Yep, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Doing for black people? No, we're not doing that specific for black people. No.
Are you kidding?
Let's be clear. I'm not going to do anything specifically for just for black people. No.
And let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear. Listen, when somebody tell you let's be clear, what does that mean? Don't mistake me. I want you to hear me loud and clear, okay? I'm not going to do nothing just for black people that's going to benefit black people. No. She said, let's be clear. So we heard her loud and clear. Pixie Glamour says, didn't two little white boys kill an 8-year-old black boy recently? I didn't hear anything about that. That is news to me. So I have to check it out. Tidbits, how you doing? It says Satan's pool pits. Damn. Poppy, and thank you for becoming a member for 9 months. She said they refused to arrest that chick that lied on her. Well, she's dead now. Carolyn Bryan is dead. She was in her 80s. Nubian King says, Dimitri, you're intelligent empress. Thank you. He says, plus, I like that natural Hairstyle. Thank you. Yeah, I got it slicked down. So I saw somebody say, you got a nice grade of hair, child. Donovan has seen my hair. On wash day, it's like, this is juices, berries, gel. Donovan, what did I have on my head when I came on here earlier?
She had her do rag.
Do rag. And so I put in 2 braids back here and but thank you. Larice, how you doing? Says Kamala is the reason Harris is going after tips so hard. Yep, you're right. She cast the tiebreaker vote on Inflation Reduction Act. She's gaslighting. Yeah, because that was something they're going after to make sure people pay their fair share. Now all of a sudden, they basically hijacked that from Trump. I mean, that's not me standing for Trump. It's just the truth. She did.
Games people play, right, wrong, you just can't stop it. All they can do, thinking just of you. But the Democrats and the Republicans, it's games.
They need to make that their campaign song. Oh, also they're gonna have a musicians for Kamala. They're gonna get together. I think the 17th. I don't know what all musicians. Sounds like Beyonce is going to be at the Democratic convention. She's gonna sing. From what I heard, I don't know how true it is. She's gonna sing. You know, it's gonna be. I'm
not mad at the entertainment. Get your checks. There's $200 million in the coffer that they got to spend. Get your checks.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a whirlwind event of people showing up for Kamala. Measurement says, Demetri, don't forget they will continue to try to say we gave you Juneteenth. We didn't want that. We was already doing that. Girl,
they gave you the Crown Act. What the hell y'all want? I can wear y'all hair any style you want.
You want to test that theory out? I know you can't because you ain't got no hair. Right. Wear your most Afrocentric hairstyle to work tomorrow. And test that theory out. See how well the Crown Act is going to work for you. And report back here. I'd like to see if it worked or not. But yeah, we was already doing Juneteenth. We ain't asked for that. Hip-hop holiday and none of that stuff.
Edward Jones says now Sheila Jackson Lee's daughter wants her seat that she was finna lose like she did the mayoral race. Are you serious? So now we're into what do you call that when the child gets it and everybody? It's no different than what they're doing in Africa. You know, they just
what do you call it? Inheritance.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Queen of England. She dies, and now it's Prince Charles, and then it'll be his children, and then his children's children's children. That's a dictatorship, ain't it? I mean, that to me, that is, yeah. I actually listened to the mayoral debate. I mean, not the mayoral, the congressional debate for her seat.
It's a special election down there, right? It's going to be a special election.
They need a special election, and then they're going to have a regular one, like right at the same time, because she would have been campaigning for the seat again in November for another two terms. It's a mess. But I watched the debates, and they're all the same old. But do you know every time they ask the Black question, because there was one Hispanic lady, she's a state representative, can't remember her name, but whenever they asked her a question about the Black community, she says, well, it's known fact that the 18th district is 45% Hispanic. So same old thing Biden was saying, you know, and then everybody was like, some lady from the audience said, no, ma'am. But I'm like, y'all better start paying attention. Because if she get in there, she gonna be like Black people who? It's gonna be all about, she's pro-immigration, all of that. And the 18th district, what I understand, is predominantly Black. But she talking about, nah, if I get up in there, y'all Black, goodbye.
I want you guys to watch the Chicago race that's going to come up for the mayor. It's coming up in this cycle. It'll be next cycle. I guarantee you the next mayor of Chicago is going to be Hispanic. Brandon Johnson is going to be out.
He needs to be out. He needs to be out. And Charlie says Kamala has enlisted Caribbean, specifically politicians in Florida, to mobilize their Caribbean communities. He says to vote for her. I guarantee she made promises to them and their people specifically. Yeah, I saw Tatiana Ali. I guess she's Caribbean. She said they were doing a Zoom. I don't know if they already did it, but they're going to do a Zoom to get her in office. It's like, what about Black Americans? Like, because I agree with you. I think they're probably going to get something as well. Edward says Roland can't sit, but he can roll over. You know what? Be nice.
And, you know,
How
and
you
here's the
doing?
thing.
How you doing?
And here's the thing, you guys. Have you guys noticed? We're being replaced slowly but surely and systematically. Why is it that Minnesota, they can get driver's license? California, we gave them driver's license. So if you got a driver's license and you've been given a legal status by executive order, what's stopping you from voting? They are slowly removing us, and we are sitting here like a bunch of dummies, like nothing's going on.
Right. Yeah. So, whew, boy, there's just a party of weirdos. Yeah, that's when Kamala and I guess Tim Walz, he came up with that slogan, calling them a party. They all weird. Every last one of them. Democrats, Republicans, they're all weird, right? But you know what's weird? Is going to the booth and voting for more of nothing. That's extremely strange. I mean, if you ask me, you know. So anyway, let's see here. Just want to acknowledge anybody having before we get out of here. Venting my truth says Beyonce is already rich. She doesn't need to sell her soul anymore. If you ever heard the term, there's never enough of more.
More. I was just gonna say.
Tell the truth to shame the devil. He says they always use the MLK to shame us. The truth is they are exploiting our history and policies that are meant for our people to uplift everyone else. Diabolical delineation is a must. Yep, that's what they do. Nepotism is a term. Yep, Sheila Jackson Lee's daughter is now going to run. And Sylvester Turner, he running. He just got through battling cancer. God bless him, you know, but he talking about, seniority still counts. We can't discount seniority. You know, and he basically feel like he gonna protect the seat until the right person get up in there. It's like, if you don't go sit down somewhere, sir.
We've got a man that is going to be 70. Donald Trump will be 73, 74 when he gets inaugurated in the election. We just saw what a 73-year-old man looks like in cognitive decline. And Sylvester Turner thinks that seniority matters. No. Age limits matter. Term limits matter. That's what we need in this country. We need to let these young people come up with better ideas. How can somebody born in 1926 in the 20th century lead in the 21st century? Doesn't make any sense.
It's a mess. They just cannot give up the ghost. And I'm not talking about dying, but just the gavel, the seat, what they can't. They cannot do it. Queen 700, he says the 2/3 and the woke ones is 1/3. Okay. So, did I get to the bottom? I got to the bottom. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. We love and appreciate y'all. We try to shorten it just a little bit. We'll be back tomorrow. Donovan, what you want to talk about tomorrow?
The Dallas Cowboys. No. I got so many issues. The Lakers, all my teams are they're just problematic.
We're going to spare you that. He said, did you see what happened in Harris County, Texas with the election worker? He's charged with felonies. I saw that headline right before I came on here. I'm going to look into it. I was really curious as to what happened because I know, you know, when Gary Monroe, Jerry Monroe, it's Gary. I don't know why now I'm getting confused. Gary, RIP to him. He was talking about the election fraud here. So I was curious, was he right? Was he on to something? Because he was vehement that there's something really, you know, nefarious going on here. So I'm going to read that. But anyway, how about those Cowboys? We'll never know, right? Yes, indeed. So anyway, Quincy, how you doing? Long time no see. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. I don't know what we'll talk about. I'm sure it'll be politics. I've had people wanting to come on here, things like that. So we'll see. But whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be interesting. So y'all stay tuned. And thank y'all so much for everything. Sure, Donovan.
I just want to add this real quick. Have you guys noticed ever since 1995, which was the last year the Cowboys won the championship, this country's been going into the toilet because America's team isn't where it's supposed to be. At the top. And when the Cowboys get back to greatness, so will America.
You be better off having a Cowboy cheerleaders. play for y'all. Maybe y'all try that. Okay,
Try to do like bring it on. When it comes to see the cheerleaders.
Yeah, try that. Try putting them in. Maybe one of the quarters or whatever. See how they do, and maybe y'all do better. I don't know. Maybe y'all cursed.
Well, the good thing is, for those of you guys that don't know football, the Kansas City Chiefs originally started as the Dallas Texans. So technically, they're Cowboys too. Anybody?
Wow. Anyway, Mikey say sports are rigged. Yeah, nowadays they are. All of them get an asterisk by them. Anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. Love you guys dearly. Peace.